Hello and welcome to TMKF Netrunner. I'm Not Yeti.
I'm Aashbo.
Joining for round 3 of the East Anglian Regionals in Cambridge. Now, question for you off the bat. If there's I know the statistics for the channel, 70% of the people who watch the videos on this channel are from the UK. But for the 30% of the audience who's not from the UK, do you think they could identify East Anglia? Or know what it is?
East Anglia is the boil on the bum of the old lady that is the United Kingdom.
The old lady riding a pig that is the United Kingdom.
It's the bum of the pig.
It's the bum of the pig.
It's the bum of the pig of the old lady holding a pig. It's the little bulbous bit on the east side of the country, just above London.
What counties would you say constitute East Anglia?
He's rehashing pub chat viewers. Well, I would say Cambridgeshire, Norfolk, Suffolk, and nothing else. I think it's those three. Some people would say that
North Essex
and Hertfordshire are included. I think the people who live in those counties would disagree. Therefore, they're not. As EA Sports, we do include...
I think we'd allow...
Ollie's house, wherever he lives.
And Paris.
And Paris. That's all... in the greater... Oh, well, of course, Kikai is Mayor of Lundwich. So London honorary part of East Anglia.
And I think it's very... I've seen some people refer to EA Regionals. This is EA Regionals, which would never have happened if it weren't for EA Sports as an abbreviation.
Yeah.
But so what the matchup? We've got King Solomon playing Zahya. King Solomon recently published the Zahya list, and it's pretty reg. Yeah. And then we've got Omnishambles,
one of Amelia Earhart in the list.
Omnishambles, who I believe is from North Essex.
Ooh. Honorary East Ang player.
Yeah, playing Built to Last, and I assume this is the Built to Blast deck, which you are pretty familiar with.
Ice HQ, Ice R&D Advance. I didn't catch if Omnishambles mulliganed there, but I would not be happy about that as an opening play in Built to Blast. But we'll see what happens.
Ron R&D, don't know what we see. Essa. Getting off to a decent money start. What card do you reckon that is?
Ooh.
It looks like it's a class act.
Yeah, class act there. Amakur off the class act draw. We're feeling real good.
Okay, very nice. Yeah, Amakur. Amakur, do you think good against the Wayland matchup? They've got a lot of ice.
They have a lot of ice, but Amakur kind of bypasses the main tempo hit of running against Wayland, which is having to find your breakers. I don't know if Omnishambles runs Mavirus. I was not running Mavirus when I was playing BtL.
Okay, so we've iced Archives as well. So we are predicting this turtle that's going to come down, but we are on 4 credits.
Yeah, this looks like a rough start to me. This looks like a bad mulligan to me.
We've got Swift down. I'm looking at King Solomon's list now. Plays 2 copies of Manuel. Plays 2 copies of Joyride.
And Hot Pursuit.
Plays Leech.
Yeah, Reg Crim. This is not a Reg Zahya list, I think.
I think the plan is we're going to float a tag. We're going to get some multi-access.
I don't hate it. I would be pretty scared about doing that game plan up against BtL when the only BtL list floating around is Built to Blast, unless somebody has brought some homebrew Glacier list. That looks like a Charlotte to me, top of the deck.
Yep, Charlotte is a good card. And not seeing a trash, but we didn't have any money at the time, so that makes sense. We're on 4 credits. We do have a hedge fund in hand, so there's a pretty...
is that Afshar on the table?
Yeah, Afshar Resident HQ, which is nice. You want to see that early?
We don't have another Advanceable Ice, because that's Anvil, I think, on Archives.
Anvil on Archives. Okay,
or
so...
possibly Hammer.
Okay.
It was one of them.
Hammer potentially very good.
Hammer real clutch. In fact, Omnishambles went to put it on the remote and decided to put it on Archives.
Probably playing around the Amakur.
I think playing around the turtle.
We are... Okay. So this is an interesting one. We are just trying to get the Dirty Laundry access. It's to see the Charlotte again. But I think potentially pretty safe play, pretty safe laundry there.
I think here, if...
Oh, we've boomeranged that ice as well, okay.
If Omnishambles has...
Install.
Yeah.
Advance. Up to
Game
5.
two.
Play hedge fund.
Play hedge fund.
Unprotected Charlotte.
That's sad. King Solomon knows that's a Charlotte.
But
it's...
spin a click?
Hey, that's a 4 credit. That's another hedge fund, but Omnishambles have just done.
Right, so click to install, click to advance, and then you get 5 credits off of 4 credits off of that. So 2 clicks for 4 credits.
Yeah. Like, I don't hate it, especially because it forces Solomon to run it, and it also, Omnishambles has to take the money where he can get it at this point.
Yep. We're resing the ice on R&D, or we're thinking about it. Yep, it's a log jam.
Ooh.
Or 3 strength log jam, something
Yeah,
like that. Oh, but the turtle was on the table. Okay.
This is a card I cut from when I was playing Built to Blast because...
but it is a card, worth noting, very resilient to boomerang.
Is very resilient to boomerang, but at the time nobody was playing criminal, so I didn't have to respect boomerang.
So if you're King Solomon here, do you boomerang 2 of the subs to deny the credit gain? Like, this is probably about as good a logjam res as you're getting at this stage of the game.
Yeah, for
we
sure.
We are boomeranging to deny 2
I
credits.
think you just have to.
Do you?
Yeah, look at Omnishambles' money.
But our money's not much better. We're on 2 credits.
Anyway,
we're running the Charlotte, which does
when else
threaten
would you use that boomerang?
I guess...
There's no reason to not use the boomerang there, I think.
Do you think not save it for later?
No, because if you're able to, once you're able to get that Amakua cooking, it's like...
What about when we're almost certainly playing Poison Vial, right?
Of course, Poison Vial.
Of course. I do wonder about the Poison Vial every now and then.
Me too.
Oh, Hammer Res on Archives.
Yeah, see, that's Anvil.
No, that's Hammer.
Oh, is it?
Yep, Turtle's going in the bin.
Am I mixing up?
Swift is going in the bin. Oh my god, we've got effectively a board wipe. And we should be floating a tag.
Hammer is a completely brutal piece of ice in these matchups specifically, and I think Hammer is going to be really good as a way to keep like AI.
We do have another Charlotte in hand, and we are just putting it on the table,
just jamming it.
Oh,
business as usual. Oh my god, this is not Built to Blast, but it looks fun as hell. Playing all my favourite cards.
Last click credit. There can't be anything other than last click credit, surely.
So yeah, that Hammer res was completely brutal. I wonder if you maybe want to trash the class act instead of...
You couldn't have got the money. Oh, you could have maybe, but it would have been tough.
No, the hardware sub is hardware or resource.
You think
I'm
class
thinking
act instead of Swift?
I think so. Swift is 2 credits to install. Class act is 4, and well...
I think they're
King
probably
Solomon has one in hand.
They're probably on fewer Swifts as well, right?
Yes, I using my
powers of intuition
deduction. I reckon they're on 2 Swift.
But the chances of them being, they may well. Oh, interesting. We're bravadoing into the Resed Afshar, but because we're on 0 crits, we don't lose any. And then it gets some back. We're running the Charlotte. The Charlotte's getting popped. We are pretty sad about those Charlottes.
Both Charlottes. I don't think you can really afford... Is it a 3 influence card or a 4 influence card? Although, it doesn't look like Omnishambles is...
Stolen or a spin. So we might get them back in the deck.
We're on punitives.
We're on punitives. Oh my god.
Okay, so this is a gross all 3-pointers punitive BtL list.
I don't know Omnishambles that well, but we met at this tournament and he seemed like a nice guy, so I don't know what this is all about.
Well, I seem like a nice guy. And I
You'd love to play this kind of thing.
Fucking awful kill decks.
Yeah. Oh man. I think it says something about me that I think that like the moral value of the Asmari deck is like fine.
I think it is. The games are over in 4 turns.
Whereas I find anything that plays public trial is
sus.
Yeah.
So this is a tough spot to be in. It doesn't look like Omnishambles has drawn much good ice. Well, actually, no. Omnishambles has drawn great ice, but has been forced to put it in subpar places, I think.
Hey,
And
I
it's
mean,
now
we're never
really
going to get Amakua down, right? Like, you're never going to be in a point where you can...
Yeah, King Solomon actually has to find
all of
his
the real breakers.
But you're assuming he's on 3 boomerang. 1's in the bin now, which is nice.
Most criminal are on 2 boomerang. Okay, we get the cat's cradle.
No, I think no. You're 2 poisoned by Bankar Steve. Most criminal are on 3 boomerang because they don't have Bankar. So
okay, cat's cradle, diversion of funds. We are going to lose our credits, but then we get 4 back. But we are just trying to put BtL into a hole.
I think it's very easy to put BtL in a hole like this, especially with both. Well, I'm saying both Charlottes, like I know the Omnishambles is on 2. But even still, 2 out of 3 Charlottes in the bin. Trick of Light in hand. This deck is wild.
We do see a government subsidy in hand as well, which you must be feeling very rough about.
The government subsidy. I hate including government subsidy in decks because so often I'll be like Mulligan, ice, government sub. Blech.
We're playing a second BAU. Just getting a second advancement on that remote ice.
Interestingly,
5 strength logjam.
Interestingly, BAU does trigger BtL.
Really?
Because it isn't place advancement counter; it's advance.
Wow.
So long as it's not already advanced, I believe it does trigger.
That's a 2 credit swing. No, it's still place 1 advancement counter.
But it's place 1 that you can advance. Okay. Boo.
NSG. What? Okay, so King Solomon really being able to make like valuable runs on this board state with
Cat's Cradle. You can hot pursuit here. This is the spot that you want to be in. King Solomon, I think, got quite lucky being able to find the exact breaker he needed.
Yeah, I think if you'd drawn anything else, you're feeling sad. But the Cat's Cradle is the one thing that gets you back in, which is nice.
Is Afshar a 4 credit break though?
No, that'll be 3.
Well, you lose a credit.
You lose 2.
You lose 2 credits.
Yeah.
Oh, it's 1 strength. I thought it was 2 strength.
So yeah, it's just break 1, lose 2.
That's pretty minging.
Yeah, it's nice.
Like that hot pursuit is
that hot
2
pursuit.
credit
I think
to gain 9.
I don't think that King Solomon lost the 2 though, because if you're down on 1 credit when you make the run,
oh sure,
it's just a 1 credit break.
But also, if you have Manuel down, hot pursuit gets you multi-access, and you get 2 credits off of Zahya as well.
Yeah, we've put in 2 tags now, so when the Manuel comes down, it will be multi-access.
That's a very hard read to make, I think, saying this Wayland deck is not on end of the line.
At this point, maybe.
I don't know. Like we've seen Charlotte's hammers, log jams. We've not seen a punitive. I don't think. I think as soon as you see punitive, you go, they're not on public trail end.
I think that makes sense.
But if you've not seen punitive,
for
me it would be a very hard read. I'd be playing like Omnishambles was on end of the line until I had reason to believe otherwise.
I think King Solomon really able to get this money back, which is nice. Recurring to Charlotte's.
It looks like the economic game is like
firmly
being won very firmly by King Solomon here,
which is what you need at this point because you got pretty blown out by that hammer res.
Yeah. The hammer res could have swung it, but I think Doof and being able to find the Cat's Cradle.
The Cat's Cradle is the big bit,
and Omnishambles not being able to cook Charlotte for any amount of time.
Yeah,
really
I wonder if you had to hold those back.
I think the Charlotte decks are they're load bearing. I think the Charlotte.
Yeah.
We saw in the previous round, Bowsley was able to kind of play out of not being able to cook Charlotte.
Didn't even draw Charlotte in that game.
Yeah, they got trashed or sabotaged. So not being able to cook Charlotte at all in an ag game, they were able to claw it back. I think this BtL is going to really struggle. You're a long way off playing that government subsidy that's in hand.
Yeah, and another bravado for this remote service is going to feel rough. What do you think?
I think that's a tree line on the remote, so it will keep them out and you will get refunded for it a little bit.
I think NGO front is basically like your line out of here, right?
Yeah. NGO, BAU, onto the tree line and NGO.
Yeah,
NGO,
just to sort of advance NGO, pop it next turn, and then play that Gov Sub, you'd be in the money.
Yeah.
You could maybe even install Advance, pop it, play Gov Sub, right? Because you'll get 5 credits off of it. And
I think you want to bait.
I
think you want to bait the run.
Yeah. But yeah, so there is a world out of here.
There is, but it's like at least 1 or 2 turns away, and I would be worried here that Zahya's just going to be able to get good accesses.
I don't know about good accesses. You're only getting into HQ, but I guess there must be agendas in there at this point, right?
Yeah.
We've seen at least one.
We know there's a basalt around. I don't know what's in the remote.
I don't know.
Rashida? It could be the basalt.
Okay.
It's safe. The basalt is safer in the remote than it is in HQ.
I wonder if, because we've got the basalt in hand, we shouldn't have spawned back both of those Charlottes. Because if they get stolen, Charlotte's probably your number 1 pick for a card to pick up, right?
Yeah, that's true with the basalt.
That could have been an interesting with Katorga Breakout for HQ.
I guess for the turtle.
It'd be really hard to farm turtle counts off of HQ here, though.
No.
We've got the Swift.
You just get in.
Picked up the Swift. No, but you pay 3 credits every time.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Trick of Light.
I'd feel better about that if I had Dockland's pass down and then could do it once a turn, get Zahya. Only costing you 1 credit.
Playing the Swift as our last click, I think.
I think Zahya's a very fun ID. We were talking the other day about the gateway IDs. I think Zahya's my favourite. Even though I love the Lou deck, I think just on the ID text alone, Zahya is the most interesting to me.
That makes sense. What's the original core set? Gabriel Santiago, right?
Isn't it just like get a credit?
It's gain 2 credits if you make a successful run on HQ.
That's like so much less interesting.
Yeah.
Ooh. Sorry, I'm just looking at the art for some of these old IDs. I like this Ian Sterling card, which is pretty cool.
When your turn begins, gain 2 credits if the corp has scored more agenda points than you.
FFG made some really boring IDs.
You don't like the idea of being behind on agenda points?
Palana Foods is like the least interesting ID text of all time. You might as well just say gain a credit every turn.
So we're on 6 credits and we've done install advance. If this is an NGO front, you do feel good.
Yeah.
If it's anything else?
Could be Charlotte. The Charlotte's safe here.
Oh, drawing the diversion of funds there. No. Very rude.
Yeah, just doof run. Oh my god, that's brutal. I think, again, most likely EA Sports member to concede. I think if I got doofed and they trashed a Charlotte here, I would concede. like, not only are you a long way off being able to, government sub, you're a million miles away from being able to double punitive the Zahya. Like, the alternative win condition here is just non-existent.
Maybe, though, you do just get to a point in this game where you... Oh, we are losing that. I mean, if this is NGO front, we're probably fine. Like, if King Solomon runs and we get to pop NGO rather than Charlotte, I think we're okay. It's a Basalt Spire.
This is like the worst case scenario.
Yeah, we're not going to be in a point...
Picking up.
What would you pick up here? We've got business as usuals, hedge funds.
None of these look good, is the problem.
Yeah, the Charlotte would have been the thing, right?
Yeah, you want to pick up Charlotte, install advanced Charlotte next turn, credit, gets you to 4 credits, which is enough to res tree line and protect Charlotte.
Picking up hedge fund, it looks like maybe we've got Judge Call, but I'm not entirely sure. It might be about the cards that are now face down in archives, not sure.
Yeah.
But no, it looks like it's all good.
Yeah, see, that's so sad because hedge fund is the best option there, but
you're not going to be able to play it.
You can't play it.
Trojan Horse, does Trojan Horse? You just need so much more money than you're allowed to get.
King Solomon has played it really perfectly here. After being blown out by Hammer,
you just need to...
he's done a really good job of keeping on top of the corpse money. He's seen the punitive now, so I think just playing this economic denial game, and rather than trying to win, just making sure the corp can't win.
Yeah.
Is the thing to do.
And I think
I think we're at the point where you can do that. I think at this point you kind of want to try and get Omnishambles to res that so you know what it is and you know what you're dealing with. It's a 6 strength tree line, which for Kurapira, which I would assume he's on, is Mingin to deal with.
But if I'm Omnishambles here, right, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to play that hedge fund that I've just picked up, we've got only one diversion in the bin? That feels wrong.
No,
No, two.
there's both.
Two diversions in the bin.
There's two.
You're going to click 3 credits. You're going to hope you don't get diversion. You're going to click for a credit. We're playing Trojan Horse.
What's the base strength?
I
3?
could not tell you. Trojan Horse. You need to succeed as Trace 4, and if successful, craft one installed program with an install cost equal to or less than the amount by which the trace strength exceeded the runner's link.
Make King Solomon pay for.
Well, so if King Solomon pays 3, there's no card on the table that can get trashed.
Yeah.
So it's just a 3 credit tax.
Which is not... I
wouldn't be paying 1 to tax 3 heroes.
Yeah, that's tough. I think it's sad, but click for 3 was probably the play there. And yeah, like you say, hope King Solomon doesn't have the third doof, which is a big bet.
If you think about it now, like, what's your path to hedge fund from here, right? You've got 2 clicks left on this turn. Credit, next turn, click for 3, get doofed.
Yeah, like, I think you just, it's not sexy, but you have to click for 3 there, I think. And well, you don't have anything like too big to fail. Like, but this is where like that leaving the Charlottes in there, I think, like you said, was good, because when the Basalt gets stolen, you can install Advanced Charlotte, click twice, and you're in hedge fund town. We're
throwing out punitive counter strikes, which is
sensible.
It's very sensible when you know things are rough when you're throwing out the but that's fine. Right, well,
this deck has a scoring plan. Trick of Light and score the 5/3s behind Big Scary Eyes, and against Criminal, if you can get your money up, that's a compelling plan. Like, that is, we kind of can see that Amaku is really hard to farm. Kurapira,
I mean, you're not getting to R&D very easily.
You're not getting into R&D full stop. It's like 8 to break Logjam, and then the 6th strength tree line is 7.
Yeah, so we're not necessarily like going to get a lot of accesses. I think you just need to take the slowest line.
I think clicking for credits here is correct. Like, it's pretty hard for. You also want to get a better piece of ice on HQ, I think. It's just a real shame that those Charlottes went away. I think you'd just be feeling so much better if you'd been able to protect those for a bit.
Yeah. We're still seeing the puny, and we do have... Oh, this is just legwork for multi-access here. We're getting a second one of those.
Jailbreak, you mean, sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
Second Basalt Spire.
With still no worse targets even.
Yeah, no money.
You're going to pick up the Trojan Horse, which isn't going to do much. Oh, pick up the BAU.
This feels like watching bullying here. This BtL got off to a rough economic start and has been kept down.
Yeah. Yeah, I think there was a window there after the Hammer Res where you went really poor for a good reason.
Yeah.
And it would have taken quite a disciplined...
I don't think Omnishambles has been able to make a play since the Amakur.
But yeah, I mean, if we hadn't lost that second Charlotte in the way we did, I think maybe that's the thing. You just had to grit and bear it then. We wouldn't have been in the state that we're in now. But that's a difficult thing.
It's a difficult call to make when you're on 2 credits and you've got a card in hand that says
you're going to end up discarding at the end of turn, and you can just
I think you're right. I think it takes a lot of discipline to go, okay, put the Charlotte behind a tree line that we haven't drawn yet.
Yeah.
And just...
Just I'm clicking for credits until I draw a piece of ice. I can do install advance.
But Charlotte is low key. This is not a punitive deck. It's a Charlotte deck.
Yeah.
You have to cook the Charlotte for a while, and then you've got the money to res the ice to punitive to score Basalt Spire, which you're basically doing legitimately. You're clicking it. You're advancing it 5 times.
I got to play some startup recently for the first time in a long time. And the first thing I wanted to do... There was somebody who was learning the game.
Damn.
And the thing I wanted to do more than anything else was I want to play Charlotte in BtL. Because click to advance Charlotte's going to feel amazing.
Yeah, they made those bans to start up, but I think...
I think BtL was the strongest corp there by far.
Yeah, Charlotte, BtL, even without all the 3-pointers, just play Oak Towns and Atlases, and that's probably still a sick deck. Play Charlotte and Seamless Launch.
Yeah. What do you think? Do you think with Dawn coming out, they're gonna get more public agendas?
I hope so.
Because if you think about the agendas that Wayland...
Hush on Logjam.
Oh.
This is why we don't play Logjam. This is why we don't play Logjam.
Wow. Do you know all that talk we were doing about how it was 8 to break Logjam?
Yeah, now it's 3. It's still not nothing, but, you know.
Yeah, it's...
Hush and Criminal is fun.
It's a hammer on top.
Yeah, this exact scenario when Kami was playing Weltri Arasana in the pub and I raised a Logjam and was like, ho ho ho, 7 strength Logjam, and then he Arasana'd Hush onto it and I just paid 0 for I just paid 6 for a 0 strength piece of ice.
You were feeling pretty sad.
I literally went, never sleeping up Logjam again, and I never have.
Right, we can finally credit a hedge fund.
Yeah, King Solomon can just run and top that kit for the rest of the game, I think.
Yeah, I think that with the second agenda gone, punitives are totally dead.
Yeah.
And so even if we do manage to establish the economic advantage, which is what we've been trying to do for a long, long time, it doesn't actually turn into win the game.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're playing Joyride. I think we're on like a low enough credit total that I'm a little bit suspicious of Joyride, but I'm sure King Solomon knows the player patterns for
King
Joyride.
Solomon will draw 5 and one of them will say gain credits on it.
Yeah, but I think we just got 2 Dirty Laundry in hand. Like, Dirty Laundry is credit neutral if you run through a Logjam.
That's true.
Actually, there's no ice on this table that Dirty Laundry, like, you end up richer at the end of the run. I guess you get the Zahya trigger, but... Seeing Charlotte on the top, do you trash this if you're King Solomon?
100%, but you didn't.
You're on 3 credits.
Credit. Like, we don't... Omnishambles is going nowhere fast, and we're on 6 points. Like,
but those Trick of the Lights...
The Trick of the Light fast advance shenanigans could be a thing.
But going back to the conversation around Dawn, right?
I hope so, because...
The agendas that you're losing, Atlas, Oaktown, Hostile Takeover.
Cityworks as well.
And Cityworks. We don't care about Cityworks. But if you think about the ones that are in update, Atlas, Oaktown, and Hostile are like the 3 coolest, most important Wayland.
The best thing about Wayland is all of their agendas are sick as hell. There's not a single agenda. You're spoiled for choice when you're picking your agenda suite for Wayland. They're all good in different ways.
But we're losing some of the best. We're losing.
That's what I'm saying. Like, Wayland gets a huge downgrade when update rotates, and like I think it's mostly those agendas. A lot of the FFG era Wayland cards are not seeing much play.
We'll still have Eminent, you know.
No, all the agendas left are still good. Like, you've got Eminent, SDS, Battle,
Slash and Burn,
Regulatory Capture. Like, these are all.
But we do need to print a bunch of new agendas.
It's true for every faction, I think. But Wayland especially gets a big downgrade with losing those agendas, because it is the 3 agendas that see the most play. Well, no, maybe not Oaktown. That's a specific kind of deck that wants to play that. But yeah, I don't know if I'd be printing necessarily...
We're going to go from like 16 to like 8 agendas in each faction.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I mean, obviously they'll print some, but they might have to print like quite a lot.
We don't know how big Dawn's going to be yet.
Oh, if Dawn's big, that'd be crazy.
Like, it might be that they don't... Because Update's not that big. It's only as big as Gateway.
Yeah.
So they might print, more cards than...
Big Dawn.
They might print an equivalent amount of cards as was in, a cycle. Like, as was in Midnight Sun, Borealis, or...
Yeah. As in like 2 boxes.
Yeah, like,
maybe.
Print that many cards.
We've seen Manuel hit the table.
Yeah, I think if you're King Solomon here, you just kind of want to set up to win.
And we didn't trash the Manuel. Would you have thought about trashing the Manuel?
No, but only because I would have forgotten about the text of the basic action card.
And Manuel has some threat text, right? Manuel is harder to trash at...
Yes, that's true. Manuel has Sebastian text on him.
Threat 3, additional trash card.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cute.
It is cute, but it's irrelevant.
Almost all board states.
Almost all. If you're playing Manuel in Seb, that's 3 cards to trash him, and then that's relevant.
So we've
Outside
clicked
of Seb,
to move.
Irrelevant.
Clicked to move Hush onto Afshar, which is fun.
Saves you a credit.
So you can, I guess you'd still pay credit to break the other one. We've decided against that. We've moved on to Hammer. Feels weird. I don't know why we'd move it on to how. Maybe it's sat on the logjam and I'm just reading that board.
No, I think it is sat on the logjam. There's no.
Unless you have an Amakua down.
There's no Amakua down, so it's not relevant.
Trick of Light.
Trick of Light.
Seeing 2 cards on this run.
Now, Trick of
It's a
Light.
quickless run.
You could hear. Is it any amount of? What's the text?
It's 2 advancement counters. So it's like playing a seamless launch.
But bad.
It is, I would say, arguably worse than a seamless launch.
Like.
But you could use it to fast advance an Atlas. You could use it to.
There's no Atlas in this stuff.
You think it's all
3
5?
points.
Yeah, we haven't seen many agendas.
You don't need to play a 2.0.
You don't want to with Trick of Light fast advance one out to make it up to.
No, I think you're using Trick of Light as a seamless here.
Just stick.
The problem I have with Trick of Light in BtL is if you're advancing your like.
I think I see it. It's Basalt Trick of Light. So you score your first Basalt, and then for your second Basalt, you can play a Trick of Light, recur it with Basalt Spire, play it again.
That is cute. The problem I've had with Trick of Light in BtL,
we did not get to cook the Charlotte.
is if you that is sad. Is if you are Trick of Light in your advanced dice, you feel bad about it. You don't want to be Trick of Lighting Pharos. You don't want to be you're fine Trick of Light in this hushed logjam. But you've got bigger problems. You've got bigger.
Yeah,
problems
those are
than that.
free Trick of Light cards if you think about it.
Like, I think it's very hard. I mean, maybe if you're using Isaac to get advancement counters on ice that doesn't need to be advanced.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a thing, but at that point you're playing like 2 whack cards to
I think
come up with a scoring plan.
I think Trick of Light is 2 influence as well. It's not 3 influence.
It's 3 influence. It's more than seamless launch.
Yeah, okay. It's a difficult choice to make. So okay, we've stabilised on money a little bit. We're up to 12 credits, which isn't a lot actually. But the runner is on 5 credits and has like 3 cards left in the stack.
I'm sticking with it. Solomon can click for credits here.
Yeah.
Solomon can click for credits. Run HQ. Run R&D.
Or we're diversioning.
We're doofing. There you go.
So you spent a click to move the hush.
And then a click for diversion.
So moving the hush, credit neutral, or like credit, and then because you're saving 1 credit, right?
Yeah.
So really, like you've paid a click for a credit. So really, we have to get more than 1 use out of this movement before it starts to feel worthwhile. Which is fully possible.
It is. Solomon is going to see 2 cards here as well because of Manuel.
No, it's a diversion, so we're not accessing.
Oh yeah, of course.
But I think we're inside jobbing. This seems like a very odd choice.
Well, we can bypass here with Kurapira.
Oh, really?
That'll be why the hush has been removed.
That's very sweet.
If we're trusting that. Yeah, so
C2?
you're happy to keep the hush there, I think, for now.
Business as usual, and
There we go,
it's
that's
the
the game.
winning agenda. Win the game.
That was very sad for that BtL, I think. Just got completely outpaced in the early game because I think just didn't draw the economy, wasn't able to get the Charlottes going.
I think there
And
was
then
a
Duke kept you
choice
down.
to not cook the shots, but I understand why we made that choice. But yeah, I think we needed to get our money advantage off.
Yeah, that's a very sad game for Omnishambles there. Well played. They did try to make some plays there, but I think the Zahya kind of once after that early agenda steal and then getting those Charlottes out of the game, you have to work very hard as the BtL, I think, to establish the advantage. And once the second Basalt is stolen.
Yeah, I mean,
you're
and we just didn't
absolutely
have
getting
those
very
targets
slim.
for the Basalt. Which
Yeah,
is
the
very...
Basalt text wasn't. Those were not useful fires.
We did eventually get that hedge fund off, but it took 5
It
turns?
literally took 5 turns to play a hedge fund between Doof and Resing Ice and stuff like that. It was really hard.
And this is why I play Banha Steve, because when you can pad weave the corp every turn
Oh my
and
God.
play 5 Doofs...
I was literally thinking that when we were talking about do you do that here? Because now what you click for 2 credits instead of clicking for 3 credits, and now you have to click for 3 credits next turn. And then I just thought if King Solomon installs Panweave, the game is probably over. So you can probably keep Omnishambles off of 5 credits for the rest of the game.
Yeah, play 3 copies of Diversion of Funds and get Diversion's worth of Pound Weaves off.
It's disgusting.
It is a lot.
I think Omnishambles did well to kind of
also, I think
keep the game going for as long as he did.
Yeah, like, I think also Omnishambles' first ever NetRound tournament.
Well, very well.
And Solomon, I think, across the regional season, ended up in 2 cuts.
Is this a startup deck in standard?
Did we
Apart
see?
from I think SDS instead of.
Oh, that's an interesting.
SDS instead of send a message, and that is I think
Trojan Horse, I think, as well. So there are a few cards that aren't.
There are a few cards, but that felt to me like I've played a bit of startup, and this punitive all 3 pointers BtL is a deck, and it is a deck, and it is a deck in standard as well.
But yeah,
kind of felt like that vibe. Played to both players. I think the Zahya played really well there, especially after getting blown out. By the hammer. That, like, you could very easily lose the game off of that hammer res.
I think so.
King Solomon played it very well from that point.
Well, thank you very much for watching this. This is where we have the Come to UKNet screen plug it up
Plug
on
it
the
in at the end,
yeah. Buy your tickets if you want to play BtL or Zahya.
They'll be available.
Yeah, you can play all of them.
Play
It's
them, they're
standard.
legal.
For the last time, for neither of them. They're both gateway. So,
but if you want to play Trojan Horse,
last time you ever played Inside Job
and Amakua.
Oh my god! Right, thank you very much for watching. We've got 7 more of these. So, keep an eye out. Right, thank you. Bye.